welcome to the May episode of Fox Chatter. Wherever you're at, thank you for tuning in and being caught up. Hope you all had a great April. Enjoyed a little bit of extra time off without drill. If you haven't been around in a bit, welcome back and happy to have you back here this month. I figured to kick things off, I would go through the calendar, some of the happenings, and I think that'll logically lead to some of the priorities and what we're getting after. I'm going to then tie that into what we kind of have going on in terms of big picture and future tie-ins, and bringing out our new fitness operations coordinator, Briana Oglesby, for a talk about what she's offering. So I think we have some interesting things to talk about this month. And then we're also going to have our returnees from the XAB coming back. So we should have some great interviews with them and their experiences over the next few months. I think a few of them will be back at drill. I honestly hope it is only a few of them because I really want them to be home with their families right now and taking advantage of as much of that time as they get. So hopefully we won't see a whole lot of them around, but the ones that you do, give them a hug, a clap on the back, and buy them a drink or a beer or a lunch and listen to their stories and welcome them back because they're bringing back a wealth of experience with them. I'm super excited to get them back. Like I said, not May drilled necessarily, but super excited to get them back because they learned a lot over there. They gained a lot of experience. They have the most realistic, real-time, and current experiences of any of us, and so I certainly am going to take advantage of their expertise. And as you all know, you get put into a challenging situation, you just end up better for it. And I know all of our brothers and sisters are that. You could see it in their faces when they came back. So really looking forward to capitalizing on that. Please do that within your own units. As we record this, most of them are home. A few stragglers still here and there, waiting to get back. So once again, keep an eye out for them and welcome them back. So what are we doing this drill? May drill is a little bit smaller and bigger all at once. Our biggest priority is Century Savannah. So 12 jets leaving Saturday morning to go to Savannah and operate out of there for 2 weeks. This ties in with our priority of our pivot to the PACOM theater. They're going to be fighting in a large air-to-air exercise out off the coast of Georgia and South Carolina against incredibly advanced Chinese threats, which are difficult to replicate without the type of massive airspace that you get when you operate in a large exercise. So this really accomplishes one of our goals, which is just to have the actual tip of the spear, the employment arm, get sharpened with a high-level exercise integrating with fifth-gen fighters. As you know, back in March, we hit kind of that ace side of getting to the location. Now we are operating and sharpening the spear where we would be executing. And then I'll talk a little bit more, but we're going to get back to that ACE concept here. We're taking a little bit of a breather right now while we execute Century Savannah, but we're going to get back to that here shortly for the rest of us. So that is the main priority of May drill. It'll be really busy Saturday morning, and then it'll be a bit quieter after that and for the rest of the weekend. Should have led in with this. On Friday, prior to May drills, the maintenance group change of command, where we will thank Colonel Chris Gamble for his literally decades of service in we'll have another retirement for him, but we'll thank him there for the leadership he has shown and the steady hand on the tiller that he has been for years over there. Just really been a pleasure for me personally working with him both in deployed environments where we were both, like I said, tough situations makes you better. Man, you can just ask either of us about our 2018 experience and how that shaped us and I would say bonded us. And it's just been a real pleasure working with Chris for years. So the maintenance group change of command and Colonel Ryder Corrigan will take over. Ryder, another incredible human being, excited for him to get the opportunity. He has loved his time over in maintenance so far, and I think everyone's going to really like him. So we got that on Friday, and then, like I said, into drill. That kind of covers through Century Savannah, and the rest of us will just kind of keep the trains running on time back here at home. We usually like to do our family day in May, but because of the Century Savannah, we were unable to do that. So we moved that to June. Saturday of June drill will be a no-fly family day. Lieutenant Birchfield and his team are putting together a great plan. Should be excellent. You'll get more details on that, I'm sure, over this drill, but that'll be great for us to be together as a family on the Saturday of June drill. And then Sunday will be more just being caught up on everything else that goes with being in the SCANG. So a fun family day and then a work day on Sunday. One of the things that hopefully you'll notice when you come in for family day is the air park should be looking a little sharper. We've been doing some work on that. Adopt a plane has been a thing that we've moved throughout the wing, and so every plane in that air park is now owned, and they're all getting power washed, cleaned up. Fab Shop is painting canopies, and we're going to get a new sign out there, so that should be looking sharper, which is going to be part of another, I would say, a little bit of a lower priority, but still a priority, one that, for me personally is easy to lose sight of, but is very important. And that is, you're going to start hearing about some attempts/actions to make our base look a little bit nicer. Base beautification, and it starts with the air park. I would actually say it started with the F-104 about a year ago. That one was looking really rough, and that one is where it really hits me, is when our airplanes look bad. And then our awesome maintenance guys are going to take the F-16 on a stick down. That needs a fresh new paint job. That's going to get repainted here shortly. And then we're going to pivot towards a little bit more of beautification around the base, cleaning up the areas around our buildings, just making it look a little nicer. We may be looking to plant some things. You may have noticed the desert around the wing building ever since it was rebuilt. Maybe we can make that a little bit better. So a sub priority, but one that we just can't ignore. And I would say for me personally is a little bit of a one that doesn't always occur to me, because I'm a real both mission focused person and then people, and then the other stuff kind of falls between the cracks at times. But we're going to get after that. In July, we don't have drill because it's summer and we should be doing great things in summer. One of the great things that we're trying to do in summer is Caribbean Fox. I've talked about that before, and that is our ACE trip to St. Croix. I think the way it's going to go down, and don't hold me to this, but because I'll just share what I think is going to happen without making promises. But what I think it's looking like now is we can, with our own money, pay for a small to medium-sized package to go. We're going to do that to get the ball rolling, and we have tactics in place to take advantage of other money from NGB. They just haven't been able to commit to that yet, nor will they be able to commit to it for a while. So we're going to look to plan a small medium and then have a large upgrade option, and then as soon as what we hope is money becomes available, we grab that money and we upgrade it to a large deployment, and off we go. So I don't want to give up on it, and I think there's a viable path forward, but that's what it may look to you. So if originally you think like, oh man, I thought I was going on that, but someone else is and I'm not, well, we're hoping to grow it. So that's basically where that's at. And I do want to reinforce that the perspective that we have up here is still the same, is that Caribbean Fox is absolutely a training TDY to get after our ACE objectives, to take a step forward from what we did in March, to do it in a location that is theater representative, to do it in a location that will be challenging. There won't be enough workspace available. We're going to have to be creative problem solvers. There won't be the resources that we're used to having when we deploy. We're going to take some risks. We're going to create some of our own challenges there, and some will just happen organically. And we're going to develop creative problem solving of the type that you would have to do in the Pacific when you're in a small group by yourself. There's going to be unanticipated problems, and we're going to get after that, and we're going to give a lot of inputs, and we have a lot of great ideas on how to make that an ACE developmental trip. At the same time, I think it's going to be a really good deal. And so I just really want us as a wing to exercise that we can do something that is challenging and mission rewarding and have a really good time doing it as well. So I'm really hoping for that to be successful and to take that next step forward in our ACE journey. That is planned right now for 12 to 26 July. When we are complete with that, we really start a pivot towards what we call our midpoint inspection. And our midpoint inspection is going to take place in October. That's the 15th through the 18th of October, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And I throw that out there to say like, yep, we got to start doing some planning for that. And we've been talking about that and pushing that down to the different squadrons of we have to start getting ready for the midpoint. And the midpoint is, it's still a bit of a paperwork exercise where they're going to look at, are we complying with our regs? Are we doing our MCT? Are we accomplishing, dotting all the I's and crossing the T's? But what it's really about is a large exercise. They want to watch us do a large exercise. ACC is going to come out here for that. As all of us know, we like doing exercises. We don't love having people watch and grade us while we do them. We'd rather do them at our own speed, learn from our mistakes and move on. But this is one of those things we have to do. What we want to do is accomplish that in the least painful way possible. And we think we came up with a really good way to do that. And that is, we are tasked, must go, as our certification event to go to Tyndall Air Force Base in late October for 3 weeks through early November as our preparation exercise for our AEF in 2025, POTUS support 2025. And so we have to go to Tyndall. And please don't read into it that I don't want to do it. I'm just saying like this is a tasking. And so what we came up with, we have to get 12 jets out there to Tyndall. We have to generate all these aircraft. Why don't we invite the inspectors down to watch us do that? And that will be our midpoint. And so basically it's something we have to do. We're going to add some robustness to it. It'll be what I would call an opposed generation, as if we were in conflict with a major nation that did not want us to deploy. Think China does not want us to deploy to the Pacific, and so they are doing things to harass us at our home station, opposing our generation. And so that is what the week of the 15th through the 19th of October will look like, is that generation while we are getting ourselves ready to go. And so that'll actually be the inspection. And so I know I jumped ahead in the calendar, but that's because this is just important and there's a why behind this. And so what you're going to see is, Vito, why are you asking all the DSGs to come in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday in the middle of October instead of weekends like we normally do? And the why behind that is, as you've heard me allude to, this is a really good deal for us. Getting our midpoint inspection done in conjunction with a generation that we had to do anyways is two birds with one stone. It saves us a lot of effort. The downside is we have to be at Tyndall on that Friday, the 18th. We can't be there any later than that. As much as I would like to go on Sunday, we can't do that. And so the only way to do the generation right when you back up that timeline is I have to ask all of you to come in 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I think this word has already percolated out, and I thank you for your support. And I also would say if you have incredibly challenging situations with your employer, we understand and we can work around that. So this is absolutely our drill. This is absolutely our midpoint. We absolutely need as many people here as possible. I also completely understand that it's not possible for everyone, and I'm not asking for you guys to cash in all your capital with your employer or break the bank. So let your boss know, your supervisor know, like, I'm sorry, please let me go. This isn't going to work for me. And of course, we'll work with you. So that's our midpoint that we have to prep for, and it's a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Taking a step back, September drill will be mostly prep for that exercise. It is a 4-day drill in September as well. However, what I've encouraged everyone to do is it's a 4-day drill, but I hope that I don't see very many of you or any of you for all 4 of those days. We need to do a 4-day drill so that we can get all the medical squares accomplished, but I'd really like if people just came in 2 of those 4 days and we just spread that out, because I really don't want to ask you all to do a 4-day drill in September and then the 4-day drill in October for the midpoint. So with September, what we would like is for you to take those other 2 days and still accomplish them, because that's the end of the fiscal year. So as you look at this, if you decide, yep, 2 days in September is good for me, I'd prefer not to do 4, don't forget to reschedule those drills now. So it's May. You've got 5 months to pick 2 days anywhere else. Don't let those paydays go unused. Don't let those points go unused. Use them somewhere else. The payback for that is our 4-day drill in October encompasses October and November. So there will be no drill in November. And so if you're a college football fan, the really plus side of this is we are asking you for 0 weekends in October or November. So all your weekends are off. I know that'll make a lot of the full-timers happy, even as much of this is a challenge for the DSGs. That gets us all the way to November. That gets us through our priorities of ACE and then the midpoint. And we're just going to be, like I said before, we're not sprinting into anything. We're taking the break, kind of the breather now from ACE. And then we'll, even in July with Caribbean Fox, it'll definitely be a, methodical, no sprinting. We're just going to work ourselves up to it. And I think the midpoint's going to be the same way. It's actually a pretty reasonable exercise outside of, unfortunately, it being during the week. It's a pretty reasonable level of exercise that I think you guys are going to knock out of the park without a ton of extra effort. I really think it's going to go well. There's the big picture I alluded to next year. We are tasked, the aviation package, with POTUS support again. I know it's going to be disappointing for some people because we were hoping to go somewhere else. Well, you never know. One thing we do know is the Air Force constantly changes, but that's what we're scheduled for right now. A couple months ago, I also talked about massive changes coming to the Air Force and how it deploys. That hasn't been fully defined yet, but it's getting closer. And here's what it looks like for us. I think the way this is going to turn out is we're going to turn into what is called a deployable combat wing, where we join with another guard unit to present a full wing. And instead of what we are all so used to here, which is the aviation package is on a schedule that goes for 3 months every other year, and our RCPs are scheduled for 6 months every 4 years. They are re-wickering it, and the way I think it is going to end up working out is they put us all in one bin, and we all go together with caveats. It's a little bit messier than that. Essentially, what it would be, though, is we'd all be on the same timeline, and imagine a scenario where instead of the RCPs going at different times to different bases, we all go at the same time to the same base. However, the aviation package goes for half of that for 3 months. The RCP, our support assets, go for the full 6. And then 2 years later, our RCP individuals, our support personnel, don't go at all, but the aviation package goes again for 3 months. And then 2 years after that again, then it all matches up again. And so everyone still gets 6 months of deployment every 4 years. The aviation package just does it in 3 months at twice the rate, whereas the support personnel do 6 months at half the rate. I'm looking over here at Casey. Casey, does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Okay, great. So I think it's going to be great for us as a wing because we'll all be training on the same timeline and going out the door at the same time, which I think would be super exciting. We'd all be at a base, basically running the place, right? Just like our XAB brothers and sisters did at PSAB, except for there'll be a lot more of us there. So I think it's a real win for us. So that's the first change that I anticipate falling here shortly. And that won't go in effect in 25. I think that'll come into effect in 27. Another item that I want to talk about in terms of our larger future is the state of the fighter force. And I want to talk about this in terms of not just McIntyre, and we know our F-16s are aging. I want to talk about this in terms of the entire fleet. You may have heard me mention before the 25 for 25 push, and that is there are 25 guard fighter wings, and we're trying to recapitalize all 25 of those with 5th gen or 6th gen fighters. The push continues. The success is limited so far. And so if you read anything or have heard anything about our brothers and sisters in Maryland and Michigan, they are the first ones on the chopping block, and they have been announced that they are losing their A-10s in either 25 or 26. Their A-10s are going away, and they are being replaced with not fighters, which is really bad for them as units and also really bad for our nation in terms of losing fighter capability. I would say we really need them with fighters, but just, to kind of fill in where they're going, Selfridge in Michigan has been given extra tankers, KC-46s, and Maryland is going to a cyber mission. While those missions are both required, sacrificing fighters to do it is a bad idea. And so all of us in the fighter community are getting behind their push. It's not, even though their divestment of aircraft has been formalized, it ain't over until their aircraft leave the ramp. So the fight is still on. We're hoping 25 for 25, but our first fallback position could end up being 23 for 25, which is a rough start. But we're going to keep fighting. And one of the things that I think very passionately about is that they're also looking at retiring F-16 Block 30s in the near future. And they're also pulling F-16 Block 40s out of the active duty as they get F-35s. And they're using those to replace Block 30s. And I am an incredibly strong advocate that those jets that they pull off the active duty should be going to Maryland and Michigan to keep them going. So if you read anything about that or you want to Google it, educate yourself. This is bad for our country. We cannot afford to lose more fighter capability. It is a challenge to find the money to buy new jets, but it is a really bad idea just to give up on airplanes and lose that fighter mission, that expertise on the maintenance side, on the pilot side, on everyone who operates in a fighter wing. Once you lose that capability and try to turn it into cyber or tankers, it is gone forever. And so if you have a voice, advocate for your brothers and sisters in Maryland and Michigan. Advocate for what is good for our nation, which is keeping all of the Guard fighters. Tying into that, the RAND Corporation that creates studies that are funded by the United States Air Force just released a study that said, hey, Air Force, you're giving too many F-35s to the active component and not enough to the reserve component. You are making a big mistake. You should switch some of those fighters and push them. You need a better mix with 5th gen on the reserve component side. Obviously, this study is incredibly beneficial to our argument of both 25 for 25 and increased recapitalization. And so we're going to use that to our benefit. And so my same encouragement to you, when you talk to your friends, if you talk to politicians, if you talk to any of them in your community, use this. The Air Force thinks that it has a problem getting access to the reserve component, and its answer to that is what it considers the easy button, which is keeping the most high-end things so it can have control and access. It has plenty of access to the reserve component, and they must move it that way. Otherwise, costs skyrocket, and they're also, without 5th gen and the reserve component, they are going to lose that expertise that they have. As it leaves active duty, it'll have nowhere to go. So that's another one of our great arguments for recapitalizing both South Carolina, which I still passionately believe is the right place for it, but the Guard in general. All of this being said, here's my last pitch. There's a lot going on in the Air Force. There is a lot that you don't get by being here in South Carolina all the time. Do what our brothers and sisters did when they volunteered to go on the XAB. Look for opportunities to get away a little bit and expand your horizons, whether that's a course in DC or somewhere else, whether that's an exercise somewhere out in PACOM where you can gain experience on what's going on in the world, and also push our message out there, show them the extreme competency that you all possess. Get out there, look for those opportunities. As we continue this pivot towards the Pacific and towards ACE, we need to expand our knowledge. And like I said, the Air Force is changing so fast, it can't keep up with itself. So take that opportunity to make yourself better and get out there. I have not been as great at that as I should have. I've tried a couple times and it hasn't worked out, and I haven't probably tried as hard, but I will be gone most of the month of June doing an exercise out in Hawaii at Hickam. So I'm trying to put my money where my mouth is and get out of here and get my own experiences that I can bring back. So that's the big picture. For the next segment today, I invited our fitness operations coordinator, Briana Oglesby, to join us and talk a little bit about what she is doing over at our fitness center. She has been a breath of fresh air since she showed up and has brought in new programs, new ideas, and some new energy into the gym. The why behind it for me is that I think fitness is critical to us, both as military members. We need to be fit to fight. We talk about our pivot to the Pacific and the China threat and the extra challenges that would impose on us in an ACE environment and the requirement for fitness. And then here's the other part, and this is way more important to me, is that all of you live long, healthy lives. And I want all of you to be fit, and I want all of you to find time to go to the gym. You may have seen my emails emphasizing this, but the reason I asked Briana to be here is to talk about this because it is really important to me. So without further ado, Briana, can you tell us all a little bit about what you're doing at the fitness center and what programs you've started and what you have to offer?
Hi, so my schedule is Tuesday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Right now, I offer PT classes at 8 a.m. and 3:45 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
PT meaning not physical therapy, but physical training.
Physical training.
Got it.
Correct. Yes. The program is centered around functional movement. So moving in a way that is going to be beneficial to your body. It's not just sitting on a machine and pushing weight. You're moving your entire body, moving through different ranges of motion. And another component is core strength, core stability. And I'm talking from, the hips all the way through the shoulders, not just crunches, sit-ups, planks, anti-rotation movements. And like I said, utilizing the body all together in a way that's going to, help you with, your overall mission of being fit to fight.
How does someone join one of your classes?
You would email me and just let me know that you plan on joining. That way I can have a head count and can best prepare. My email is Oglesby, that's Boglesby at udrconsulting.com.
Great. And I'm looking right now at Senior Master Sergeant Casey Watson. Do you think we could put this on our app as well, that email address, in case people didn't put it on there? Could we put out a post on that?
We will include the information in our app that we can, and also I'll include it in the notes whenever we send out the update.
Great. Thanks. So, Briana, you're doing 2 classes a day, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I've also noticed when I walk in, you've got a workout of the day on the board there. So if people can't make those times, but they like the idea of what you're doing for your workout, they can try to pick that up on their own.
That's correct.
Awesome. So you have the classes. I think for a lot of people, getting started is the most difficult thing. Do you offer an ability for them to have a one-on-one conversation with you where they can maybe feel comfortable about a good starting point, and you can have a conversation on where they're at, and is there customization to the workouts?
Yes. So people can set an appointment with me. Same thing, just reach out via email. And we can set up a fitness consultation where I can kind of see where you are, get a baseline of your current physical activity or lack thereof, and what your goals are aside from passing the PT test. And if there are any kind of limitations we need to work around. I know some people have injuries, so I do provide customized plans as well.
Awesome. So what I hear from this is, if you're one of those individuals who likes to be in a group to be motivated during your workout, that option's available. If you are an individual who maybe would like to have some one-on-one time to either get a customized workout or get over maybe a little bit of, I'm not in shape enough, then you can get that one-on-one. You can do that workout on your own. You can build up to it on your own. So both of those things are available. So great enhancements, right? Our gym has always been an excellent gym that has a lot of equipment to use. And now we have a person who is super motivated, super fit, and super educated as well. Actually, we didn't cover that at all. Briana, just tell us a little bit about your background and your education and qualifications.
Yeah, so I attended Georgia Southern University. I have my bachelor's in sport management and my master's in kinesiology. I carry various certifications, my personal training certification, of course, and different class type certifications, like I'm a row coach, I'm a rugby coach, strength conditioning coach. So I've done, been involved with fitness in a lot of different capacities, and I'm always learning more, working on what I do.
Awesome. So I probably should have asked you that question up front, because that establishes your legitimacy for exactly what you are doing and how we should pay attention to what you have to say. So come on by the gym, see Briana. She's always got a smile on her face. She's ready there to help. She's taken a lot of proactive steps, and it's great for us as a fighting unit and great for you as an individual. So thanks for joining me, Briana. Any parting words?
I just hope to see you all there. Know that I'm there to help you, and that fitness goes beyond your PT test. It is your longevity. So come check it out.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Thank you.
Before I go, I want to do some shout outs because there have been a lot of great things that have happened here over the last month. One of the first ones was on base here. This is kind of a nice thing. Is our CE opened a hiking and fitness trail over on the far side of base. Think near where ammo is and out by the pond. So if you park out there by the pond, there's a new 5K running, hiking, fitness trail with various stations there. So I want to thank Travis Peak, Wendy Evans, James Merriman, all of the CE state employees who actually did the labor. It's a lot of work to make a trail, a lot more than I thought it would be. And then a group of Boy Scouts led by hopefully soon to be Eagle Scout Creighton that did a great job building that trail. So when you're looking for something to do on a beautiful day and you want to get a workout a little bit away from the gym and do something different, go over there by the pond site, park, hit that trail. So thanks to all of them for doing that. Next one is our load team from Weapons did a competition against Shaw. Guess who won? Like, it was us. And so that was a great competition. And the 3-person team consisting of 2 DSGs and an active associate, which is awesome and incredibly impressive, won. And that was Staff Sergeant Roger Espinoza, Staff Sergeant Carly Sturkey, and Staff Sergeant Christina Smith. Well done. Thank you for representing us. It was never in doubt. I knew you guys were going to do great. Going back a little bit further, a couple weeks ago, the Med Group put on the Med Expo. One of the things that we've been trying to do is be a little bit better interconnected with our Lower Richland community. And so Lieutenant Colonel Beav Smith set up a Med Expo where they brought in health experts and providers from the community to kind of raise awareness, do screening, and just help our community out. So thanks to Beav and to Senior Master Sergeant Tanya Joseph for putting that together, and then from everyone else for the Med Group who came out and helped provided for that on a Saturday afternoon. Much appreciated. And then finally, Top Gun Drill Meet, which is put together primarily by Senior Master Sergeant, and I will say Chief Master Sergeant Select now, congratulations, Kenny Monroe. He puts this together every year. It brings in junior ROTC cadets from across the state, which you all have heard me talking about it before. We need to be at 100%, and recruiting is a huge part of that. And these are our people. Darlington is our people. When we do flyovers there, these are our people too. We've got a lot of different groups of people, but these are one of them. And so, Kenny, thanks for putting together a great Top Gun drill meet. And I know it takes a huge team to do it. So specifically, great people that help with that were Master Sergeant Dana Betker, Master Sergeant Helen Wolfley, Chief Eric Bowen, Master Sergeant Justin Caton, and the entire recruiting team. And then the third go led by Senior Master Sergeant Kevin Crosby and Master Sergeant Jory Middleton, Master Sergeant Yetton, and Master Sergeant Edgren for coming in and knocking that out. And then on top of that, the Swamp Fox 5-6 Council led by Tech Sergeants Alexander and Suarez. Thank you for everyone for that. That's a big lift, once again, on a Saturday afternoon to do a good thing for people who want to serve in the military and hopefully join our unit at some point. So thanks to everyone for that. You're all doing a great job. Much appreciated. All right, everyone. Thanks for everything, and have a great month. See you around drill.